Good afternoon, and welcome to Major Jason Forcey's retirement. I am Staff Sergeant Duncan Alt, and I will be your MC, and Airman Basic Trevor Buck will be the proffer for today's ceremony. Today we experience one of the oldest and most traditionally rich ceremonies in the military. It honors Major Jason Forcey on the occasion of his retirement after 22 years, 6 months, and 20 days of distinguished service to the United States. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand or be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the national anthem, military members should stand at attention, and civilian guests should stand and place their right hand over their heart. We are honored to have the commander, 354th Maintenance Group, Colonel Jerry Copeland, as the presiding official for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by Staff Sergeant Trevor Benton and the invocation given by Chaplain Hill.
Oh, say can you see by the Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, we gather today to give thanks for 22 years of faithful service. Years that began in the grit and the heat of the field, where the tools were heavy, the stakes were high, and the work could not afford mistakes. From the blast zones of EOD missions to the fenced-in calm of the bomb dump, from field exercises to command briefs, you have walked with Major Forcey every step of the way. You called him to lead with courage, to serve with humility, and to love his family with his whole heart. You steadied his hands in high-pressure moments and gave him wisdom in complex decisions, whether that meant cutting the right wire, clearing the right path, or leading airmen through the organized chaos of munitions operations. We thank you for his faith, the kind that held steady through 19 years of marriage, long deployments, shifting taskers, live fuses, and early morning accountability. And now, Lord, as he turns in his last line badge, already signed off his final custody transfer, and drives out the gate for one last time, we ask your blessing on the road ahead. Give to your servant Jason a hope that holds steady, a strength shaped by trial, friendships that last beyond the flight line, purpose deeper than position, joy in the days ahead, and peace in knowing he gave it all that he had. May he still find joy in walking the line, even if now it's a Kentucky fence line, not the munitions one. Help him adjust to life without a uniform of the day, a safety belt, or PPE. And when he reaches for a checklist that's no longer there, remind him that your word is still the standard that he can trust. Lord, we stand in awe not just of his resume, but of our Dundee Award-winning world's best boss. Only you could bring together a bomb tech, a munitions squadron commander, a certified Lego serious play facilitator, and a father of 8, and somehow make it all look as easy as he did. So now bless him with rest that restores, work that matters, and laughter that comes easily as he binge watches all 9 seasons of The Office yet again. Let him know that he has served well and that you are not done using him. May he clearly see the next mission that you have mapped out for him to execute. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant Trevor Benton, for your rendition of the National Anthem, 354th Fighter Wing Honor Guard for the posting of colors, and Chaplain Hill for the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Sharing this special occasion today are many family members, friends, and fellow airmen. We are extremely honored to have in attendance Major Forcey's family, which includes his spouse Katie and children Jenna, Ella, Jane, Violet, May, Mary, Jack, and Henry, as well as his sister-in-law Molly. Also with us today, Commander, 354th Fighter Wing, Colonel Paul Townsend, Senior Enlisted Leader, 354th Maintenance Group, Chief Master Sergeant John Easley, Commander, 354th Mission Support Group, Colonel Timothy Foster and his wife Michelle, Commander, 354th Medical Group, Colonel Michelle Suggs, Senior Enlisted Leader, 354th Medical Group, Chief Master Sergeant Jason Hannon. We would also like to extend a special welcome to all the commanders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, and distinguished military and civilian guests, and to the members of the 354th Munition Squadron who have taken time out of their day to share in this special occasion. It is my honor to welcome the presiding official for today's ceremony, Commander, 354th Maintenance Group, Colonel Jerry Copeland. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thought I was going to disappear, didn't you? Yeah, not so lucky. All right, so here we go, Jason. Are you ready? Let's do it. Good afternoon, thank you for joining us today. Lots of special guests here. I'll try to get some of them right. Colonel Townsend, thanks for coming out today. Congratulations on your Finney flight. Awesome day. Very special welcome to Jason's family, of course. Katie and his home team. Let me get all the names. Here we go, you ready? Jenna, Ella, Jane, Violet, Mary, May, Jack, and Henry. Did I get them all? Good, I had them written down that way, so that's true. And I forgot yesterday afternoon at the change of command, Molly, thanks for being here as well. Katie's sister. All right. I know from talking to Jason that he's extremely excited and happy to share this day with all of you. Katie, raising 9 children. Yes, I'm counting Jason. It's funny. That's impressive, even more so than Jason defusing bombs. Sorry, Jason, it's true. Jason, you may not know this, or you may not have heard me say this before, but there are a couple things that officers get to do that I take great pride in. One of them is re-enlistments. The second one is being a retirement official. Thank you for this honor. Keep that in mind because you might not like it. Here's the weird thing about this one. Jason and I are both retiring in less than 30 days apart. Somehow, in my mind, I had it in my head until about 2 weeks ago that Jason had somebody special coming in to do his retirement. And then the script ended up on my desk. And I went, hold on, why is my name all over this? Then I realized I must be the special guest. Good thing I do this stuff off the cuff, and only 10% of it is true. Good or bad, Jason, I like to try and have a little bit of fun at the retirement, mostly at your expense. Because so often these things are formal, dry, and even sometimes sad events. While we take them very seriously, as it should be, because we're honoring a member with 22 plus years of service. It should also be fun and not necessarily a solemn event. While it's typically emotional for us, it doesn't have to be emotional for them. Just so you know, Jason wasn't expecting traditional, so I'm safe. We're going to talk a little bit about his family, but mostly that's a story for him to tell. We're going to talk a little bit about his career, but he knows that story better than I do and also tells it better. Mostly what we're going to do is poke a little fun at Jason, and then he'll tell you the real story that he wants you to hear. Here's what Jason told me. Jason, Kate, and the family are headed to Kentucky, potentially to start a ranch or a farm or a myriad of other endeavors. I heard things like guitar playing at a whiskey bar or a coffee shop, also an English teacher. All right. Staying to my style, we're going to add in a couple dad jokes along the way. For example, what do you call a lazy kangaroo? A pouch potato. With that in mind, the first thing I want you to do is take a look at the flyers you have there that were handed to you or that you had sitting at your chairs when you came in. I direct you to the back where there are 2 pictures. Look at that young man, just over 22 years ago. I'll tell you what, look at the difference. That must have been a rough 22 years. I'm pretty sure I saw that second picture on a milk carton or potentially at the post office last week. This story starts for Major Forcey slightly before he joined the Air Force, because everyone has a why. Picture this, if you will, Jason being ran out of town at age 22 by the law. 10% truth. I heard he was last seen, or at least the story goes, that he was trying to pay his bar tab with Monopoly money. Keep in mind I said 10% truth. Anyway, he got a recommendation at that time to find a job that could teach him focus. Well, Jason thought about that for a while, and then he took that advice. He enlisted in the Air Force as an EOD specialist. I didn't know this, but apparently their motto is initial success or total failure. Well, apparently that fit very well with the young Forcey at the time. I guess if you're going to blow something up, you might as well do it right the first time. As I understand it, and Chief Seals may have mentioned this, something to the effect at Jason's going away last Friday, that Major Forcey views many aspects of his life as part of playing a game. Now that's not to say Jason doesn't take things seriously. On the contrary, he uses that thought or method, as it were, to learn and define the rules of the game. If you understand the rules, you can be successful at the game. Just so you know, Jason plays checkers, not chess. Too many rules in chess. He was also caught cheating at Monopoly, printing his own money. It seems plausible. I'm not sure if it's true, but it's my story, so I'm telling it. It must be true. I do know he can teach you to build the crap out of Legos. Absolutely. Must have been that homeschooling. All right, onward with the story. Jason met Katie at his first assignment, Langley, while in FTAC. And as fate would have it, it was love at first sight for Jason. I'm not so sure Katie was convinced. Eventually, he got her to go out on a date, and they eventually got married. Well, as we all know, the Air Force doesn't plan around us. And he was conveniently or inconveniently absent during his first two daughters' births. Everybody say, "Aw." It's okay. He had 6 more opportunities to get it right. For those of you who don't know, Katie also served in the Air Force as an imagery analyst. Here's the deal. While I'm making fun of Jason on this topic, what you should note is that it really says a lot about how awesome Katie is. Her strength and ability to manage a new family while Jason was off doing EOD things speaks volumes about just how amazing she truly is. She's basically a real-life superhero. Seriously, Kate, you deserve the medal more than Jason does. Jason was an awesome EOD specialist. He didn't have a single markdown on any of his EPRs. He also was an ALS Distinguished Graduate and took home the Academic Achievement Award. And in 2009, he was AFMC's Outstanding Airman of the Year. 2 tours in Korea, 2 deployments to Iraq. Jason continued to keep his act together at this point and completed a degree in underwater basket weaving. And after, and after 9 years of enlisted, with many accolades, he made the switch to the dark side. Jason loves Star Wars, by the way. I always wonder if the Empire is actually the bad guys. Crossing to the dark side is a path we share. He was playing the game well, got himself a ticket to OTS, and it was time for a new game. For him, this was also a chance to be there for their 4th daughter's birth and to watch her grow through the baby milestones, a big deal for Jason. Sergeant Forcey became Lieutenant Forcey. As we roll into his officer years, I'm going to ask for some help from the audience. Some of you were handed a small gift as you walked in. At this time, I would like you to go ahead and put on your sideburns, if you would. It might take a bit because they're a little tough. Jason, I think you might know where this is going. Looking good. All those sideburns, they appear to be within regulation. Well done. I have a pair. I can't seem to get them to work. I failed. We're going to press. All right. We'll keep moving. Jason was doing well as a young lieutenant at Shady J. They gave him an opportunity to run the GCC, a big deal because it was their first ORI in several years. His leadership nominated him as an outstanding performer. He'd learned most of the rules, but he didn't know all of them. Unfortunately, he was told that while his sideburns were within compliance, they projected a spirit of non-compliance. And thus was disqualified from being an outstanding performer. He still had more to learn in this new game. I never got to see those sideburns, Jason, but it might be time to bring them back. He learned the rules and continued to excel. He deployed again and got to spend some time messing with 60-foot missiles. His work, not mine. His words, not mine. Working on test and launch of a Minuteman III ICBM from California over the Pacific that splashed down in the Kwajalein Atoll. It took me several times to get Kwajalein right. Jason decided it was time for another challenge after that, a new game. He went to Maxwell to be an instructor, and that's where he learned how much he loved to teach and instruct. Chief, no matter how obscure those instructions might be, he excelled at it. The strategic curriculum Tough words to say all at once. From that assignment was what set him up for his job as a DO and commander here at Eielson. As I mentioned yesterday at the change of command, Jason came to Eielson as the MUN's DO, where we are fortunate enough to fly him up to be the commander. You hear some great things that he did in his decoration. The things that aren't there are the relationships that he built with fellow commanders within the wing. He taught his famous Lego class in several squadrons and made the best Santa Claus within hundreds of miles. His only competition was Santa at the North Pole. Pretty tough to beat when you have your own Santa Claus house. Jason, you've had huge impact across the Air Force during your career, and you left an indelible mark on the 354th Fighter Wing. I cannot thank you enough for the leadership, the education, and the friendship you provided the MXG. I look forward to seeing you in retirement back here in Alaska for summer visits. While we're here, where does Seaweed look for a job? In the kelp wanted ads. It's obvious that your family is extremely important to you, and it's great that you know who you are and you have a good idea what you're doing next. I wish you the very best future for you and your family. Thank you for taking care of the airmen. Thank you for your service to our country. I know I left out many accomplishments and accolades, but you asked me to keep it short and not too boring. I apologize for the bad dad jokes. Thank you for this opportunity to honor you and your career. I know I'm the only thing holding up your retirement. The next chapter is ready to go in your story. Let's do a decoration presentation. Get you on your horse with your guitar. Thanks very much. You don't have to keep the sideburns on unless you want to mess them up.
Thank you, Colonel Copeland. Major Forcey, please join Colonel Copeland center stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Meritorious Service Medal presentation. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Major Jason Forcey for meritorious service from 16 May 2022 to 31 August 2025. Major Jason C. Forcey distinguished himself by outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 354th Munitions Squadron, 354th Maintenance Group, Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska. During this period, Major Forcey stood up Eielson's alert munitions support posture by defending resource levels, guidance, timelines, and vital requirements. His efforts were key to arming the 354th Fighter Wing's execution of Operation Noble Eagle missions throughout the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone. Additionally, Major Forcey expertly navigated the Air Force Global Strike Command War Reserve Material Positioning Plan, storing and posturing 100 joint air-to-surface standoff missiles worth $130 million. His direction helped establish the cornerstone of air power projection in the Arctic and U.S. Indo-PACOM regions. Finally, Major Forcey led the first 354th Munitions Squadron Agile Combat Employment Exercise. His leadership catalyzed the munitions tactics, techniques, and procedures needed for deployment to the second island chain to deter Chinese aggression, fortifying the ability to deliver devastating force to the U.S. Indo-PACOM theater. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Major Forcey culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Colonel Copeland will now retire Major Forcey. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force Special Order Number AC-019111. Major Jason C. Forcey, effective 31 August 2025. You are relieved from active duty, 354th Munitions Squadron, Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska. Retired effective 1 September 2025, per Air Force Instruction 36-3203, in the grade of Major, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Please be seated. We are also pleased to present you with a Presidential Certificate of Appreciation. It reads, Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embodied the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. I will now read the Certificate of Retirement from the Air Force Chief of Staff. The Armed Forces of the United States of America, to all who shall see these, presents greeting. This is to certify that Major Jason C. Forcey, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of September 2025. Signed, General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff. I will now read the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. The achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well-deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, Chief Master Sergeant David A. Flossy, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. A person's military career is woven into the very material that composes our nation's flag. Each career step and assignment becoming another thread of the red, white, and blue. It is this concept that traditionally ties the flag presentation with the completion of a military career. The Eielson Honor Guard will now perform a flag folding ceremony. Once folded, the flag will be presented to Major Forcey. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans, both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our Air Force, nor on the flag do we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of American has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to persevering the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave. Thank you, Eielson Base Honor Guard. We would now like to invite Mrs. Forcey to come forward for the presentation of the Air Force Retirement Pin. Please place the pin on your spouse's left lapel. The retirement pin is presented at the retirement ceremony to signify membership in an elite organization of men and women that have served the United States Air Force and their country with pride, honor, and distinction in wartime and peace. This pin is to be worn on your uniform with pride. It signifies to everyone that you have served your country well and honorably. We would now like to present Mrs. Forcey with the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Mrs. Katie Forcey, for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff. We would now like to present Mrs. Forcey with the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Mrs. Forcey, I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Mrs. Forcey, thank you. You may return to your seat. It is my honor to present to you, for the first time, Major Jason Forcey, United States Air Force, retired. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. All right. So yeah, if we had a few more certificates, we would have gone through those as well, but thank you for bearing with us. She said it's to line all of the halls for whatever house we end up getting in Kentucky, farm or otherwise. So, all right. I just wanted to thank everybody for being here today. It means a lot to me and the family. If you are not here for the Jason Forcey retirement, you missed that boat and you're stuck. I'm sorry. So we'll just continue on. All right. Here's the question. So what are you going to do when you grow up? That question has been asked over and over again. I think I have an answer for it, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to sing it to you. But before we get to that, I have some people to thank. So for starters, I want to say thank you to our MC, Staff Sergeant Alt. Thank you for amazing us with your dulcet voice. We had a short notice switch up for the proffer, so thank you, Airman Basic Buck, for filling in and doing a great job. Airman Basic, yeah, that's awesome. If you were here yesterday, you heard me talk about this, but I'll say it again. I heard Staff Sergeant Trevor Benton singing the national anthem at one of our functions earlier this year. It was one of the best renditions I've ever heard, so at that time I asked that he'd be the one to do the national anthem for my retirement. Unfortunately, he was not available. He's deployed to Japan right now, so everybody figured out the next best thing would be to record him singing and play that at the ceremony. So thank you to all the people that had a role in that. It was worth it. It's a great rendition, so we'll clap even though he's not here. Chaplain Hill, thank you for that invocation. Thank you for being the 5th chaplain that we had to go to that wasn't on leave or TDY or had some other conflict for today. So it was awesome. With all of the back-to-back ceremonies that we have going on in this facility and across base, we end up. I just wanted to quote the ineffable words of Taylor Swift. "'Tis the damn season." So thank you for your support for our family and to me. All right, Eielson Honor Guard. You were very crisp, sharp, and professional today. Thank you for being on point and imbuing these ceremonies with honor. Thank you, Colonel Townsend, for being here today. Group commanders, do we have any other group commanders? No, just you. Just you. You lucked out. Thanks. But all squadron commanders, I saw multiple squadron commanders out there, squadron SELs, first sergeants, and supervisors, and most important, the members of the 354th Munitions Squadron. Thank you for being here today. Thank you to those who helped out put the ceremony together, especially Tech Sergeant Govey, Tech Sergeant Chapman, Lieutenant Birchmeyer, and Lieutenant Reitz. So, and then of course, thanks to the 355th FGS for letting us use the Falcon Event Center again, Talons. All right. While it's a great opportunity to celebrate and to recognize, 22 years, that's a lot of time. It pales in comparison to 37 years. So what I want to do is to thank you, sir, for your words, but also to take this opportunity to announce that I am coming back up here for your retirement. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So thank you once again. I appreciate that. Let's see. I did have words for Susan, so I'll just go ahead and read them here. She's dealing with packers and movers and all of the household goods stuff. So I wanted to thank her again for being the life and energy and support for this guy. So for so many amazing years. And honestly, I think I'm more excited about your retirement than I am my own. So that's gonna be awesome. I definitely want to say thank you to the squadron as a whole. Thank you for supporting me as a squadron commander. I never thought I was going to be a squadron commander. That was like not one of the goals of my career or trajectory that I thought. But as I continued my journey as a commissioned officer, I realized how fantastic it would be to have the opportunity to be responsible for an organization and the good order and discipline of the people that make up the greatest Air Force in the world. I definitely have to thank my family. Lucky for everyone here, I have so many kids, this might take the next hour and a half. I'm just kidding. But I am so glad that, Katie, you walked into that FTAC classroom, and I didn't realize how much you would change my life, but I've loved every minute of it that I've gotten to spend with you. And this next new adventure is going to be even better. All right. Jenna, Ella, Jane, Violet, May, Mary, Jack, and Henry, come on down.
The certificate of appreciation reads, on behalf of all of the Air Force airmen impacted by the many contributions of your father, Major Jason C. Forcey, we present this certificate of appreciation to Jenna, Ella, Jane, Violet, May, Mary, Jack, and Henry Forcey. Thank you for the numerous sacrifices you've endured in support of our United States Air Force. Your continuous support gave strength and purpose to your father's service in defense of our nation.
So I do have gifts for them as well. I'm going to go ahead and embarrass them for everybody. We'll start on that. You get to go first. Surprise. Cool. All right. So as we've already heard, I've been in the Air Force for 22 years, nine years enlisted as an explosive ordnance disposal technician, and 30 years as a missile and munition maintenance officer. Been stationed in Korea twice, deployed 4 times to the Middle East in total. But being EOD, I've had several friends that never got the opportunity to return back home, much less make it to their retirement. I am going to read the names of those that I knew personally, whose memory will live on with me. They are fallen but not forgotten. Senior Airman Daniel B. Miller, Senior Airman Elizabeth A. Lonke, Tech Sergeant Timothy R. Weiner, Senior Airman William N. Newman, Tech Sergeant Anthony L. Capra, Staff Sergeant Brian D. Berkey, Senior Airman Michael J. Burris, Staff Sergeant Joseph J. Hamsky, and Tech Sergeant Daniel L. DeVille. There are others that died in the line of duty, but these 10 specifically live on in my memory. So thank you for honoring them and their service and their sacrifice with me today. Okay, now for a little backstory. I'm actually going to pull the mic and talk for a little bit. So I want to tell a story also back in keeping with the EOD thing that we had going on. My second duty station at Osan, Korea. We had a ORI going on, big one, first one that I've ever experienced as a young airman. So super excited to go out and to do what we need to do. So we have to, after we go alarm red, alarm black, and are going out to recover the base, we have to respond to a chemical munition that is a UXO. So we go down, I'm on a team of 3, we have the team leader and then 2 team members, I'm one of the team members. We go down and we set up our clean area, right? And then we have a 10-foot gap for the dirty line, so that's the transition area. And then I was the one that drew the short straw that had to go down into the dirty side of things. So my job was to walk down there in my chem gear and to do a gross decon of the area, and then to perform a recon on the ordnance and identify what type of, to basically take measurements and write down key ID features and stuff like that and bring it back uprange to the team leader, where she looked it up in our publications and was able to say, hey, this is the type of munition it is, this is how we make it safe, and we could go on from there. All exercise, of course. The IG had used cut open chem sticks as the chemical agent that was all around. Not an EPA hazard at all. And so I went down and performed my decontamination of the area, as well as the reconnaissance of the ordnance item, and then came back up, and I had to stay on the side of the dirty line while my team chief stayed on the clean side. And this was when we wore Mickey 2 masks. So raise a hand who remembers those sweet masks. So I have to yell to my team chief, who's 10 feet away, what's going on? Like, hey, it's 45 millimeters, it was silver, it had this marking on it, whatever. Very hard to communicate. So I'm screaming at the top of my lungs trying to communicate this. And so we get it taken care of. She's able to look it up. She opened up the publication on the computer and on the IPB, and I could see it. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. And we did the stuff to safe it. I deconned the area. We containerized the munition, cleaned up all of the stuff, and we're good to go. Packed up all of our stuff. Went back to our staging area. When we got back to our staging area, she asked, "Why are you mad at me?" And I was like,